What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to have a look at the opposite side of the initial release of the 9th anniversary here on One Piece Treasure Cruise. This time we're looking at Oden Toki, which, as we know now, is an anniversary exclusive character. So this character is only going to be available on anniversary style Sugo Fest moving forward, meaning like Global Anniversary, Japan Anniversary, and of course we'll have the 0.5 anniversary in November. But this character is very strange, and I don't really understand why they decided to bring this character out now, as it doesn't really synergize at all with the rest of the batch that they release with the Straw Hats of Robin, Nami, and Usopp, as well as the brand new Super Sugo Fest exclusive Yamato and Luffy. So we've already made a showcase video talking about Yamato and Luffy, but now we can actually talk about this character instead. So after using this character briefly, I can give you guys a bit of a rundown in terms of what I think. So let's jump into it. The captain ability of this character being able to boost only Slasher characters' attack by 5.25, but then boosting their attack by a further 1.1 when they have a Tandem or a Wano slot, which is very strong. 1.2 health boost, healing 1.5 times recovery for every perfect that you hit, as well as reducing this character's cooldown by 2 turns, and reducing this character's switch gauge by 1 every time another Slasher or a Slasher crewmate uses their special. This is a really cool effect, and I actually really love the ability in the captain to reduce their own cooldown and reduce the switch effect of this character every time another Slasher crewmate uses a special. It actually gives this character a bit of variety in use as captain. But if you do opt to use them as the captain, the thing that I really don't like is the fact that they're only boosting slashes. So there's no color boost, there's no additional classes, and this is the same kind of issue that I had with K-Dad. Though I feel like K-Dad is still a better captain, as he does have that ability to remove 10 turns of attack down, which is just an incredible effect. And you'll see in this video that, you know, running double Oden and Toki isn't really that optimal. It's probably better to run a bit of a hybrid scenario, especially because slashes don't have the best utility out there. So being able to run in a hybrid sense where you can get more characters on your crew to deal with more gimmicks is the best way to go. But the captain ability wise is fine. When they're in their solo form, they're essentially the same thing, except that, you know, the multipliers are a lot less. Toki has the healing mechanic, whereas Oden has the additional damage mechanic. It's basically all it is. So overall, the captains are pretty mediocre in my personal opinion. Things get a little bit different as well when you look at their special. So their special does a 40 times the character's recovery and healing, and it is over healing as well. And I like that they do that. It was a little strange when we had Legend Hiyori came out about mid last year, and you know, she has a really good utility special, the Wano slots and locking them and stuff, but like her healing mechanic doesn't overheal, which is just really strange for a character releasing these days. So at least this character does have access to the overhealing mechanic. And then also reducing despair and paralysis by 7 turns is always a really nice piece of utility. And then minus 50% slasher resistance down to all enemies for 1 turn. And then boosting color affinity of slashes by 2.75 times for 1 turn. And the big thing as well is that they only become the dual unit for 1 turn. Now in my opinion, I think a 1-turn duel is... It has positives and negatives for sure. In my opinion, if they only wanted this unit to last for a short amount of time, I think 2 turns would have been great, so that, you know, if you have to deal with the opponent and their revive, you could still have the dual captain, for example. At the end of the day, it doesn't really make that much of a difference in my opinion. You know, most solo captains in dual units are very strong, so at the end of the day, it probably isn't that bad. But I do think that it is a little strange just to have it as a 1-turn combination, so I don't really know how I feel about that. It kind of leads me to think that, you know, this unit is mainly to be used as a crewmate rather than as a captain. But honestly, the captain ability does have, obviously, the really nice mechanics of being able to reduce cooldown. So I guess if you need to use this character special multiple times in a quest, then as a captain, they're actually pretty good. But of course, their special ability also providing 50% resistance down and then a 2.75 color affinity boost. In terms of offensive capabilities, is actually very good, and stacks once again, really well with K-Dad, who provide, you know, full board of slots, and then their super class giving you Wano slots and Tandem slots, which of course you can make full use of with this character. And then we can have a look at this character's switch effect. So the switch effect does a 5% heal, does not overheal unfortunately, but it also changes this character's slot into a Wano slot, so they get the buffed, you know, boost by having that Wano slot as a captain. and then also provides a 1.5 orb boost to slashes for 1 turn, but it's an overrideable 1.5 orb boost. So I do like the fact that they are experimenting more with these overrideable buffs, because it means these characters are going to be a little bit more future-proof moving forward. Now, in order to get this super switch, it does require 7 switches, but as we know, if you have a slasher and you use a special of that unit as a crewmate, and this character is the captain, then this switch will get an additional gauge added up. So getting the super switch, depending on the team composition, might not actually be that difficult, but the effect, it does the same thing, really. A 5% heal, guaranteed 1-0 slot, it doesn't go through block slots, unfortunately, and then it will go ahead and change adjacent slots into tandem, and make the crew's recovery and tandem slots beneficial for 1 turn. Very, very odd effect to have that in the captain, in the super switch, should I say. Very, very strange to just make those slots beneficial for 1 turn. But then also boosting slasher characters' orbs by 2.5 for 1 turn. So being able to generate a 2.5 times orb boost with a super switch is obviously very powerful. And once again, this character has a great synergy with K-Dad, as this can be your generated orb boost. You can have K-Dad for your attack boost, and obviously can generate lots of slots with their effect. And then you have the color affinity with Oden and Toki as well. And then of course, they've got access to Super Tandem, which even adds a lot more damage when you stack it with K-Dad. So their Super Tandem will require 2 of the listed characters. So you've got, Kinemon, Kanjuro, Raizo, Okiku, Doji, Dogstorm, Cat Viper, Kawamatsu, Denjiro. So you've got all of the scabbards. Now remember that K-Dad do count as 4 of the scabbards, which means you do have to run 1 of the other subsidiary characters as well. So you've got Momo, Hiyori, Roger, as well as Newgate. So you could technically run like the new Roger from the Pirate King Adventures game mode. Alternatively, you could run Legend Roger, for example. You could run Roger Whitebeard. There are actually quite a few options that you could explore. The Super Tandem effect is very strong, getting a 2.5 times attack boost to slashes. Obviously, it's a tandem attack boost, which stacks with everything else. And 2.5 times attack boosts from Super Tandem are incredibly powerful. But it's kind of akin to Super Tandem Luffy, where, Super Tandem Luffy only gives you a 2.5 times attack boost to free spirit. It does require you to run those Straw Hats, though, of course. So this is kind of like a Super Tandem Luffy effect, but, kind of like just for the Straw Hat engine, but this one is just for, the Scabbards and his family. So it's interesting at least. But there is an additional effect in his Super Tandem, giving a 0.25 increase to your color affinity, meaning that you can get his color affinity from this character special to become a 3 times color affinity. So this character can generate that 3 times affinity, 2.5 Super Tandem attack boost. You can have with K-Dad, for example, like a 3, or I think it's a 3.25 times attack boost. You've got a 2.5 orb boost from your switch effect. So with 2 characters, technically 3, because you do need that 3rd character to activate this character's Super Tandem, that does generate a lot of damage. But there's obviously one big glaring issue, is the fact that K-Dad, in the way that they work, you want them to be the final tap. So in order to actually generate this Super Tandem, you have to run some pretty obscure characters in order to actually get this to work. So that's probably one of the big glaring issues that I found, at least that when you have everything completely maxed out and getting the most out of this character. If you want to get that Super Tandem to work, you're going to have to run some really weird units. So overall, this character's kind of okay. I mean, they've got a great utility special. It can provide some good damage. It's not a bad unit, I guess. But I just don't see in too many scenarios where you're going to go out of your way to use a character such as this, because remember, they are mono slasher focused, and there aren't too many situations where you need to go out of your way to use mono slasher characters. So look, I'm not really that impressed with this unit. Yeah, they've got some really cool abilities, but it's definitely nowhere near my favorite Super Sugo Fest exclusive or anniversary exclusive character. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about this character down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I'm that, guys. I'll see you guys within the next video.